What's going on, everybody? All right, I might need to want to adjust this a little more here, maybe. I don't know. All right, so, damn it, nothing's in that camera. All right, so we're going to discuss. Had a couple of people asking me about microphone wiring. Like, well, what if I don't know what's what and what's where? Like the example I gave the other day when I made a video about different colored wires. Like if I'd taken a static microphone, the colors in there are completely different than the Turner. And it wouldn't be a far stretch to say, well, my Turner cord was bad and I had this cord laying around from this old Chris or Kraco radio. I'll just use that mic cord and not worry about the colors. How many times have you guys seen in automotive stuff two red wires instead of red and black or vice versa? A guy uses whatever he's got around. So if that were to happen to you, this is how to do it. And this is how I wire most all stuff anyways, just because you never know. I mean, this stuff is 30, 40 years old. Even the Cobra radios and things can be hucklebucked by now. And you never know, right? So, anyway, without further ado here, we're going to get on with it because I see this video is going to be longer than I want it to be. So, and this is going to be like a 2, possibly 3-part video. I'm not going to make them all real long here or nothing. So we start out with a good multi-tester, right, or a decent one. You want the ohm setting because that checks continuity. I like to use the sound setting, the beep setting, so I don't have to look at it. If you don't have one with the beep and just the numbers, you want it to read all zeros, okay, or close to it. So then we got a couple of these clips here, these test leads. These are the ones that I use to make these. Remember I showed you these yesterday for checking the radio out and whatever. So I use 2 of those test leads, at least for the video, it's easier. Normally I'll just take the leads here and stick them right to the cord, but this way I can be hands-free and show you guys and talk and things, right? So here's what we do. We get the test leads hooked up. We just pick 2 wires. And I'm using this just to hold it up to keep it in camera's view here. I always like to start with the shield. The ground wire, whatever, the bare one. And then I chose red, just because, right? Now we got to make sure none of these other ones are touching there. I see they're touching. We want accuracy here, right? Okay, so we got the ground and the red. So let's turn this on and see what happens. Hopefully y'all will be able to hear whether it beeps or not. Okay, yep, so right now we have continuity there. Oh boy, ouch, right? Ooh. Okay, so what that means is the red wire is most likely your microphone, your element, okay? Near as I've found with everything, some people might disagree, this, that, and the other. You have continuity to your microphone element itself and or through the circuitry, right? So let's try another one. Let's try black, okay? And see what happens if there's continuity there. Uh-oh, no continuity there. What's going on, guys? Now watch this. We push the button. Oh, we got continuity. Every time we push the button, we've got continuity. So that's our transmit, or TX. Okay? So now we know that our black and our shield is part of the transmit sector, right? Now, let's go over to the white one. And we have... Okay? We got nothing there. Nothing when we key. Nothing when we're not keyed. So that is most likely receive, I would say. Your RX, right? Nothing there. Make sure these are on there right now. We don't want to be on the insulation on accident. Key it up, nothing. Try the white and the black. Nothing. Nothing. See? This is why we always start with the shield wire. So now we've determined the red was audio, the black is TX, and the white or clear was for receive, right? If I remember right, I got good memory, but it's short. Damn, it's 5 minutes long already. Okay, so as you go through those, write those down, what they did. One keyed it, one didn't do anything, one had continuity going through it to the element. Now you know ground, audio, transmit, receive, okay? Then you can do it one of two ways, and the second video is going to cover this some more, but for right now, the second video will cover this too probably, but for right now, and thank you Walcott CB for having this up here. I just typed in CB microphone wiring, and this is one of the ones that I got. You can do this on your phone, wherever. There are some in the group in the file section also, because the Turner manual, damn, this thing's tough to, oh, that's down far enough. All right, so the Turner manuals have wiring diagrams in it for like 300 different radios, you guys. But the second video will cover if you don't have this portion and can't find this for your particular radio, because I know some of you like the older radios, the vintage stuff, and there's nothing out there for it, right? So I'll show you in the second video how to determine which one of these pins is which on the radio. But now if you look here at this top one, just as an example, your Cobra Galaxy RCI, blah, blah, blah. You've got your, and I tried to enlarge this as much as I could, your common shield, so that would be the bare wire, right? Modulation was 2, that would be your red wire. Your clear white wire would go to pin 4, right? Because that one didn't do anything, so that's your receiver, your RX. And then your black wire was your transmit, if I recall. So that would go to TX. Yeah. So that one would go to TX, and that would take care of your mic wiring situation. Now, in the case where you've got like common and shield for the Cobra President Uniden, the second one down there, like we talked about yesterday, you've got common and shield. Well, shield wasn't used, right? So we used TX, the modulation, common, and RX, and it worked. It worked just fine. Some of them may not, because this one is calling for a shield, right? Now you go over here, and what do I see? I see TX, RX, common, shield, modulation, and not connected, right? Well, that's the wiring that I gave everyone yesterday. My Cobra 148, that's what it requires, is that one to not be connected. Now, if you were to have this one here, it says Cobra Uniden President, that's the case where you would jump a small piece of wire, I'm trying to turn this on the wrong one here, from common, pin 2, to shield, pin 4. You would just take a small piece of wire and bridge it across the two. And that would take care of that one. See, this is why I hate 5-pin. Because you've got Cobra Uniden with both 5-pin with 2 different configurations. And if you notice, the notch for the pinout is in a different place too. So the TX is over here on 1. Over here, the TX is on like 3 or whatever, because in this one, they don't even have it labeled, right? So this is why when people say, well, what color goes where? Well, I can't really tell you that without being half wrong. You know, I've got a 50-50 shot at being right, and I like to be right 90% or more of the time if I can help it, and give educated answers, not guesses. And I know in other video stuff I've explained how to find what pin goes where, but I've never actually shown it. And I forget that it can be confusing for people who may not have ever done it or don't understand it. So hopefully this helps. And these charts aren't available for every radio. That's why the second video will show more as to how to determine that and find more of this stuff. Now, there's also pinouts that have power going to them. It's called phantom power. You want to be very careful with those. And anyone that's going to buy those test leads from me, are not going to have a power wire connected to it because I am not going to be responsible for that. So Phantom Power is like your Anytone Quad 6, your President Lincoln 2 Plus. The center pin has like 8-9 volts going to it to power your microphone. It is a powered microphone. It just doesn't have a dial on it to turn it to 11, right? So you don't want to be messing around with power and shoving power into your receive and into your transmit and all that stuff. So be very, very careful with those. Now, you look here at like the RCI 2950, 2970. This one is what, 6 pins? Yep, 6 pins, okay? You've got your up and down channels. And then, of course, your shift, which I don't understand that. I've never really done one of these. TX modulation. I'm guessing shift is the same as a receive, just different verbiage. Here, this one's probably a little bit more, what I'm more familiar with here is the President. So you've got your modulation, common shield, transmit, and then up and down. So if you go to wire a Turner microphone for the 2510 or the Emperor and all these, right? Unless you add buttons into that microphone, you are, sorry for this thing moving back and forth. I don't know what's going on here. I think my monitor's shaking. Maybe it's me, I don't know. But unless you add buttons to it, you're not going to be able to do that, okay? So modulation, shield, and transmit is the only ones you're going to need to use. It'll be a 3-wire connection. Pretty basic, pretty simple, I guess. I don't know. The main thing is always to make sure you know what pins are where and to note where the notch is. And don't forget to reverse it when you're looking at the male plug versus the female plug. It's real easy to do them the same and have it be completely backwards if you're doing adapters, which I'm going to show you here in a second. All right, there we go. I paused it for a minute so I could reset here. This is a little bit off the topic of the Turner part of things, but I want to cover this anyways just to help you all understand a little bit more. This microphone, I don't know if you can see inside of it. There's no element in there. It is completely dead. I took the element out just because I wanted, whoop, damn it, I want it to be lighter. Okay, see, that's the back of the plug thing. That's this deal here. Okay, no element in there at all. It's just a switch. And I put a different switch in there too, by the way, because it's a lot lighter and easier to use. So this is just an old Chris microphone, and I only use this to key up. That's all I do. There's no talking in this. It's just a switch to key the radio. And what I've done is I made myself an adapter here. You know, you guys, some of you guys have the adapters with the male-female plugs that, you know, go from the radio and whatnot. I bought some of these, and I use them just as a nice connection, okay? So what I've done is I connected 2 of these pins off of this wire right here, going in there. 2 of those pins are for the switch, just to key up, okay? Then this is my XLR cable with 2 wires. They go to the other 2 pins. That takes care of my transmit, or not my transmit, my bad, my modulation and my receive, okay? So essentially, I've done the same thing to wire for a 4-pin Cobra Galaxy, okay? But I separated it into 2 separate wires here for running studio audio. So I can run the studio mic up through here into the radio, okay? As long as, now you can do this with the dynamic studio microphone and not have to have the mixer or the Phantom Power, any of that stuff. But as soon as you go into condenser and electric microphones, you need to have power going to them, okay? So that's where the mixer and stuff comes in. Now, I'm still learning and working that stuff out, but I just want, this portion of the video was mainly to show you guys the isolation part between the keying and the audio. That, you know, it's 2 separate circuits, basically, combined into one. They go into the plug. And that's what happens inside the microphone. So, like this Turner microphone here, it's got 4 wires. All that stuff is done in here separately and combined for you. Okay, so you don't have to separate it. That's why when we did the pinouts, we key up, on key. Okay, there's the transmit. There we found the one for the microphone, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's the main reason for doing this, not to talk about studio stuff, unless Turner made a studio microphone. And if they did, I'd love to get one, or use an Element and maybe make one. That might be kind of fun too. Take a Turner microphone, turn it into some studio stuff. But anyway, that's all I did. I took these plug adapters, I wired them up, got them going in there, kind of hucklebuck this end a little bit, and it's just a 4-pin. So transmit connects, and the other one connects, right? Then I know I never have a problem. I got a good solid connection. I'm never going to mix them up and wire them wrong and have them squeal and whatever. And then I simply key up here and then talk into the studio mic. And I will say this, when you start out doing this, you're going to put this microphone up to your mouth every time you go to talk, just out of all those years of habit of keying up. You key up break 19, and you're going to put this to your mouth and you're going to look stupid. But that's okay because it's radio, not television. Nobody can see you look stupid, right? So anyway, I put that back over there. So that's, in any case, I know this video is kind of long. My apologies. Anyway, so that's how you determine the microphone side. You can do it to any microphone. Now, I did, for argument's sake, I did have a battery in it, okay? I don't know if that matters or not. I always put a battery in it just to make sure. You're not going to hurt nothing on that multi-tester that way. So always make sure you have a good battery in it just because. It'll still key without the battery, but you may not get the continuity you're looking for through the Element and things. So anyways, this video is long enough. I've never loaded one this long to Facebook, so hopefully it loads. Hopefully y'all find this fun and educational. Sorry it's so damn long. I try to make these short and sweet and to the point. Next video will be covering the same thing or something similar on the radio side. If we have a radio that we just don't know what the pinout is. Walcott didn't put one up or somebody else didn't in your Google search, and you can't find it and you didn't find it on the page through the Turner book. This is how you'll figure it out and find out. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit.